Alright, welcome back. We're going to continue now the lab for Chapter 7. And what we finished in the first chapter is basically through number 1 and number 2. We went to the K-State Extension website, downloaded some historical WASD tables for corn, soybeans, and wheat, and we copy and pasted the average farm price received and the corn and also the ending stocks to use variables over time into a new spreadsheet. What we're going to do next and finally is for each commodity we're going to recreate figure 2 from this chapter, a time series chart of prices received by farmers and the stocks to use variable, and figure 3, an XY scatter plot of the prices received by farmers and the stocks to use percentage from this chapter. And then we're going to use that information, especially from figure 3, to try to make an educated forecast of what farm price received is going to be for the marketing year of 2017. So I'm back here in our new spreadsheet that we just created, and let's go ahead and try to make figure 2. I'm going to highlight these first 3 rows and go all the way down to 2017, and I'm going to insert a chart that looks like this. So if you do that, it looks pretty good. I'm going to do a Control X and go to the top, paste it near the top, Control V. Now you'll see this kind of looks like the chart we had before, but not really. If we look at the website, let me flip back over, take a look at figure 2. In figure 2, these lines are not that far apart from each other, and the reason is we put prices received on the left axis, and then we plotted the stocks to use variable on the right axis, and that allowed them to be presented much more compactly than the default way that Excel shows here. See, we don't have any default axis on the right. So to remedy this and to make it look like the chart that we have in our chapter, what we need to do is we need to select the data series that we want to modify, and we'll just do the stocks to use variable. We're going to take the stocks to use variable and have its y-axis plotted over here on the secondary or the right-hand side. So if I do that, if I click the data series, you might have to then go and select Format Data Series. In my spreadsheet, it automatically opened up this formatting menu, but you may need to choose that manually yourself. Then over here we can see that this series is automatically selected to be displayed along the primary axis. If we switch that to secondary, it'll just plot it along the right-hand side there. And that makes it presented much more compactly. Now I think our colors are exactly backward. We could fix that too if we really were interested in matching the textbook. I can change the stocks variable to be orange and the price variable to be blue. And I believe that's closer to what we have. Yeah, that's what we have in the chapter website. Not that it matters, but if you're wanting to make sure you understand how you were able to recreate the data, the colors might be useful for that. Okay, so this is pretty much done. I am going to label this corn though, because we're going to make 3 more charts. Corn prices and stocks to use %. All right. So let's just go ahead and do the same for soybeans. I am going to select these 2 columns, and then we'll have to add the x-axis later. So I went to Insert. I'm back here at the scatter chart. Oh, no, this. Oh, it thinks that I want an XY scatter chart. We may need to add these things one at a time. So scratch that. I'm going to select just the soybeans column and insert this chart, and I'm going to click on the price series, do select data. That's how I can add to the X value. Highlight that series, click edit, and I'm going to go and get the x-axis. In case you didn't see what I did, I'm going to click here in this x-axis spot and come over here and select the years. That should change my y-axis. Should have changed my y-axis. Let's see what we need to do here. Maybe this is not appropriately formatted as a number. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so the mistake I have here is that my x-axis values are grabbing the name and it doesn't know what to do with that. So if you remove the year there by adjusting this small box that allows you to move it and select one less row, if you do that, then automatically you get your dates correctly. So let's make this a little bit bigger and pump up the size. And let's add a value. We've got the ending stocks here. I'm going to right click, select data, add a series, and I'm going to add the dates, and I'm going to add the average price received, make sure it's the right thing, and it added it there. Let me just call it average price received. Okay, and that should be good. So same thing here though, we want to put the stocks on the secondary axis. So format data series, plot on the secondary axis. I grabbed the wrong thing. I want to put the blue chart on the secondary axis. And that gets everything formatted the way we like. So let's go ahead and choose, I'm going here to Chart Tools, clicking Design. If I come over here to Quick Layout, I can choose something that will allow me to name this thing soybeans. And you can see here we put the legend for the corn chart underneath the date table, and that seems to work out pretty good. So I'm going to adjust that so that's possible. So it kind of looks similarly here. And we should change the colors to be consistent, honestly, so that we've got stocks being orange in both cases and prices being blue in both cases. Okay. Now here's a trick we can do for wheat. I'm going to do a Control-C. I clicked this soybeans chart, and I'm going to put my cursor here and do a Control-V. Now, to get the wheat data, I'm just going to scoot this over to the wheat ending stocks. And similarly, I can scoot the prices over to the wheat prices. And it's a little bit less work. So then I need to just change this to wheat. And we're pretty much done. So I should name this though. Click the series, right click to select data, choose the one that doesn't have a name, call it average price received, and it's there appropriate. Alright, very cool. So we've got this half of the assignment finished. I'm going to go ahead and end this video and continue the next short video with the last part of the assignment, which is to do the same thing with XY scatter plots.